Let's talk about those little voices that pop up in our head. Both the ones that tell us you should really start a YouTube channel, or you should really start that side hustle, or you should really start sharing more of this thing that you're really passionate about. But then also the voices that then start saying, who do you think you are to think that anyone would be interested in whatever it is that you have to share? And you know damn well, girl, that friend from high school, she's gonna judge you if you start speaking up about this thing. And also, you're not even close to being as talented as those people who have succeeded in this thing that you're now trying to do. And there's so many other people doing it, so there's not even gonna be space for you. In today's podcast episode, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to dive into a conversation that I had with my challenger community when we started speaking about this little voice that pops up in our head and believing that we are more than capable of actually doing the thing, and that there's a reason that that little voice in our head pops up. And in the moment when it pops up, we don't always know why that is. But if we take action on it and we dare to be bold enough to follow that intuitive voice that is telling us to go for it, despite the fear of judgment of other people's opinions, and we keep showing up even when the road gets tough and muddy and we get pulled into all different kinds of directions that aren't getting us anywhere, if we keep listening to it and we keep showing up, we eventually will get to experience the miracles that are waiting on the other side. Miguel asked about my journey of getting to the place where I am today with my career and everything that I do. And it just led us to a conversation where both Jasmine and Emma also shared that they could relate. And I thought it was just so beautiful for every single one of us, knowing that we're not alone. We're not alone in thinking that this is a little bit scary, it's challenging, but also knowing that it's normal to have those thoughts and that we can take action anyway, despite the fears coming up. I'm starting my February Transformation Challenge shortly, and I'm also going to be continuing this community throughout the year. So whenever you're listening to this podcast episode, if you do feel that it resonates with you and you would like to have friends on this journey who are like-minded and who also want more for their life, not just only for their fitness, but also for, achieving the dreams, going after those big things in life that they dream to go after, and leveling up in all kinds of ways, I would really love to have you join our community. I'll put all the details in the description. Now, a little side note, I spoke with Patricia right before Miguel started speaking, and both of them have lost 18 pounds in the time that they've been in my challenges. So yes, we do talk about life and everything else, but these two specifically, as well as everyone else who's joined my challenge, have leveled up their fitness game and gotten in shape because I, as you also will hear in the episode later, help people understand that it's not a black and white thing. Reaching your fitness goals is about doing it in your way, in the way that works for you. And I make that accessible for you. I show you the principles, I give you the tools, I give you the structure, and then together we personalize it so that it's going to work for you with all the recipes, all the workouts, the journaling, all of the tools that are in it. We personalize it to you. And now, without further ado, let's dive into it.
Hi, my name is Pernilla, and this is my Challenge Your Norm podcast. I'm absolutely obsessed with anything related to personal development. And well, to grow, we got to challenge our norm. And so on this podcast, we chat about life and how we can challenge our normal way of living it to make it greater than we could have ever imagined. Just one little belief, habit, bold move, and challenge at a time.
How was it for you when you were thinking about becoming a content creator and having your own stuff and having your own business? Because right now, say like I have a job and that's fine and it's a job and it is going well, but I feel like to really have a big change in your life, you really got to go there and do something new with that potential that has that path to maybe taking you there. So how was it for you when you were considering doing all of the stuff that you're doing right now?
It was a slow process, and it started off with obviously me getting in shape and taking a personal trainer certificate. And it took me 1 year from when I got in shape till I even started my Instagram. And the reason for that is
I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel like
Mm.
whatever I had to share would be something anyone else would want to hear from. So it took me a full year of building up the courage to start an Instagram profile. And I started a separate Instagram profile because I was so afraid that these people that were following me, my friends and stuff, they were going to judge me. But I started this, and I think it's just about breaking it into baby steps. So I would still have my other jobs on the side that I would do, but then I was committed to every day I'm going to make an Instagram post. And then that led to, okay, now I'm going to make a weekly YouTube video. Oh, okay. And now I'm going to, everything I make on Instagram, I'm going to start posting on TikTok. It's like the little incremental steps at a time. And then it would also be taking in constantly content, as in like listening to podcasts, reading books from people who had already done the thing that I wanted to do. And I think when we have a goal, it's like, it feels so big. For instance, I've decided I'm going to write a book.
Oh,
And this is
nice.
very recent. And to me, I've never been good at writing. I don't know how the heck you even put a book together. It's like, to me, it's like, so what? And so automatically when they came to me that I needed to write this book, I was like, how? Like, it's, I can't do that. But then it's again, okay, how do I break it down? So little by little, I figure out the steps, I create the plan, and then I just learn as I go. We don't need to have it all figured out. We just got to start. And reflecting ourselves in the people who have, like, we don't need to invent the wheel. Like, if we're wanting to do something that someone else has done, really allowing ourselves to be guided by what they have, like how they've done it. It's the same. If we want to get in shape, follow someone who's gotten in shape and see how they did it, right? And I feel like it's like that with anything career wise, or wanting to build a family life that's more balanced, or whatever it is. I think there are strategies that we can follow.
That's so inspiring, and that makes sense that if you break it step by step, then it's more digestible and then it feels doable and possible. I am a big nerd, so my stuff will be like on LinkedIn talking about technology and AI, a bunch of like nerdy stuff on the LinkedIn channels.
Incredible.
Like you're saying, it feels so scary and so
Yeah.
new, and I'm like, I have no idea what the heck I'm doing. But I guess you just gotta go for it and start. And that's how you learn. So
What
nice
can
of
we
you.
as a community do to support you? What would make you feel supported?
I think that reminder that it's okay to not know what you're doing. It's okay to be afraid. As long as you go for it and do it, we are all humans. We all screw up. We're all gonna, have ups and downs. But the point is going for it and doing it. Whether that is in fitness or like in LinkedIn or, whatever you're trying to do. I think that growth mindset is really good for getting started and getting there.
Absolutely. And any successful person in the world have just literally put in the reps. They have continued through the ups and downs. They have just continued and learned and kept going. And the people who have the most successful businesses tend to have failed 7 businesses before that one successful business that completely took off. But they put in the reps. They kept going. I remind myself of that whenever things aren't going the way that I want, or like, it's just so empowering knowing that, oh, this is just going to make my story even better, right? It's only going to make me stronger too, because now I know how to take on this challenge. So it sets us up.
That is so inspired. I am so grateful for all of you.
I'm just like, it is wild that Miguel just said that, because I almost said this at last week's call, that the thing that's been eating at me or sitting at me has been this bug in my ear that's been trying to get me to post more or just like share more of my experience with people online. But then the other voice in my head has always said, it's really saturated, only your close friends care about what you have to say, nobody else like really cares, or it's cringy, it's embarrassing, like you've had bad videos in the past, whatever. Like there's so many reasons not to do it, or this could be a lot of work, and how do you know you're going to get something out of it? So in Miguel's case, it's like, okay, this might impact a few people, but how do you know it's the right thing? But that's just it, you don't know. And if something is telling you to share something, there's probably a good reason for it. And I think sometimes we deny that voice that wants to share something or engage with the world, but we don't have to know where it's going to lead us. But I just think it's amazing that there's a connection there between our fitness journeys, but also sometimes how we show up online and in the world, that we all have to start somewhere. So
I love that. And Jasmine, I hope you go for it, because there are many people out there who would want to hear your voice. Just to share a story from my life where that voice has spoken to me, and I'm so happy I took action, because if I hadn't, my life would look very different. I had started making YouTube videos and nothing came from it. And I spent so many hours. And you guys know when you spend so many hours on something and there's like one person watching or like nothing is happening, like I was like, okay, this is not, this is not what I'm supposed to do. I went on a hike and the voice was just like, keep making YouTube videos. And I was like, okay, I guess. I kept making YouTube videos for the next year nonstop. YouTube was the thing that at that time, now I've taken a break from YouTube, I'm changing some things, but YouTube at that time was the thing that eventually led me to be able to make this my full-time job. It was from YouTube, and it's how I've learned most of my skills through diving deep into YouTube, which now is helping me in so many other ways. And it was only because I listened to that voice, because it didn't make any sense, but the voice was telling me to do it. I did it. I kept doing it, and it changed my life completely. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to get to a place where I could do it full time. So just to motivate you guys to listen to that voice, because there's a reason and we don't always know why.
Have you all seen that picture of like the guy that's like digging away in like underground and then gives up because he can't find the diamonds, so he starts going the other way, and there's another guy like going right for it, and like the diamonds are right there. I feel like you have to be kind of delusional in a way where it's like just one more, like just hit it one more time. I feel like that's what I need to think about this week.
It's the same for our fitness journey. It's always when we're right at that breaking point where we're like, F it, I'm done, cake, cookies, burgers, come back to me, I don't want to work out anymore. It's if we overcome that, like, it's just like, oh, it's right there. That's when we develop the habits and we gain the benefits from all of those, let's say 3 weeks, 3 months, however long we've been on it, that we really see the life transformation from it.
I also want to share, like, lastly, really random, but I had a phone interview this morning for Miss Universe Canada, which is like a beauty pageant and something I never thought I would do because I'm not tall and I don't have veneers and whatever you need to do to like be in that platform. But I think it's just this energy of like, whatever, like you just have to go for it, like do things like that. So I don't know. And you never know. So just do stuff like that. And for your fitness journeys, everybody, like when I signed up for my fitness competition years ago, I remember like literally feeling like I was going to die. Like I just remember thinking like, how am I going to give up chocolate? Like it was at that point that I felt like I was using it as an emotional crutch every day. And it felt so ridiculous, but I actually felt like, how am I going to survive? Like, how am I going to get through? I've never been able to stick to a diet my whole life, blah, 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 blah. But when you make a commitment like that and you have I had one person in my corner at the time cheering me on, and like that's what I needed to get through. And if you know that you have like this call on Sunday, like it just makes such a difference. And that's why I'm here today, because I believe in the power of having that just like weekly community or person that believes in you, is like infuses you with positive thoughts, because that eventually like rewrites everything. So thanks.
Wow. Huge congratulations. That's amazing. So you're going to do it.
Yeah, like I mean, this was the first interview, and they'll tell me in a week, I guess, if I make it. It is an investment, and part of me is like, I don't know, like if I'm going to invest in this and then, not go very far, like what if it's a waste of my time? What if I'm not good enough, blah blah blah, but it's good to have a goal.
It's just wild what having a community that you're sharing your journey with, how it helps you show up differently. So powerful. But you have to be willing to also put yourself out there, right?
And that's probably why I haven't posted as much on social media, because you always hear the voice of the person that maybe doesn't care for it. But putting yourself out there, I think you said it in your last podcast episode, like you've seen every comment on your YouTube, like whatever. And at some point, it doesn't defeat you. At some point, it's just accepting that that's the reality.
Yeah, I'll say to all of you who are afraid of putting yourself out there, I every single day get hate comments, and I try my best to put love and light out there. Every single day I get hate comments, but I don't pay attention to them anymore. If there's something that like, oh, that I really should improve within, absolutely. I make mistakes always and I try to grow, but
I hear everything. And at first, it would really affect me. But the more you do this work, the better you get at knowing who you are and knowing that this is a stranger on the internet that I'm going to give love and light to. Because if they are spending their time writing negative things on people who are trying to do their best, they must not feel very good within.
I ended up getting my master's in communication, which I was a kid who was like never gonna speak in front of people, and I was like, God's funny. Like that's what we're doing. And now most of my job is like public speaking. And so I was like, oh, this is funny. He's
That's
ironic.
amazing. So when you do public speaking, do you do it in front of an audience or online mostly? Both.
Yeah, I think in the last 4 years I've done like over 100 in-person events.
Wow. What do you speak about?
Crypto.
Oh,
Nerdy stuff.
crypto. Wow.
Last week I was at a networking event and the owner was like, anybody that wants to speak about what they do can come up. Nobody in the group, it was all women. There was like 2 people that actually wanted to do it because they were brave enough to do it. And I was like, this is just what we always talk about, is like building the reps.
Yeah.
And you have to get over the fear of going first or say you're messing it up or doing all the things.
Yeah.
Everybody at the end was like, that's really cool. And I was like, I'm still scared. Like it doesn't really go away. Like that feeling doesn't go away of like being nervous speaking in front of people.
You just become more used to the nervousness in that situation and the
And
fear.
like we just turn that, like nervous and excitement is the same feeling.
Yeah.
Your brain doesn't actually know how to compute it. So you just
Yeah.
always tell yourself you're excited.
Yeah. Oh, that's
And there's
so
such a window of time where it's like, if you have to either do it or like you'll regret it after, and you're like, oh, I wish I did that. But it's like, yeah, there's such a short window of time. Like I think it's a few seconds where it's like you have to decide I'm gonna do it and just go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like every time you get a chance that like, I don't know, I feel like that feeling of I'm nervous or whatever is like your sign telling you to step into something that you're meant for more. You're just not there yet. So you have to keep
Yeah.
doing it till it feels normal. So
Yeah.
it's like anytime I feel that, I know that's actually the thing I should go do.
Yeah, like you feel it with like a little bit less fear of like, I know it's not gonna kill me. Whereas the first time you're like, it actually feels like a threat. Like I
Yeah.
should, it's really bad. But then the next time you just feel it and you're like, yeah. Like
Yeah.
it's okay.
It is magical because I basically just asked very politely my friends to leave so that I could join this call. Like I felt so awkward, but I told them I love you guys. Today is my birthday, by the way.
Happy birthday!
I feel your energy.
Okay, good.
I was
Oh,
like,
yay! Ava, you got it. And Grace.
so I was like, I know I just need this. I really, really need this because every time it hits something I'm going through. And like I started my podcast in October, and like all these thoughts that you all said now were in my head nonstop. Like I had moments where I'm like, what am I doing this for? I literally have 66 subscribers. At first, I was like, if one person gets something from it, this is my goal. And now I'm starting to have this tell me.
The first 100 subscribers is the hardest, and you're already past halfway. So you're crushing it.
I just love you for this. But so in that moment where I was like, I'm really like, what am I doing? Like I'm making, like, I don't know, like this is going nowhere. This is the words I used. Like I said, this is going nowhere. And that day, a random subscriber just liked a short of mine and said, I'm just subscribing so that you can monetize your beautiful channel or like the beautiful content. And I was like, this means more than the entire world to me. Like, because this was a video about hypersensitive people and like the fact that it got the most views and people related to it. I was like, there are just I think you said it in the December challenge where you said we are a bunch of weirdos and we found each other, and this is what I want. I want my community to be weirdos like me and like just have like this kind of community like this, and like for every single hypersensitive person to think I'm so okay. Because I remember when I first read the hypersensitive person book, I think I cried for a week because I was like, I'm not an alien. There are other humans like me. This is a thing. Someone found out what this is. I'm not, because my entire life I was like, okay, this is not, I just can't relate. So the fact that Miguel started and then Yasmin and then we're talking about this topic and I'm like, this is crazy. It's so worth throwing people from your birthday around at 6 p.m. I was like, I love you. I know. this is Pernilla time. And they were like, who is Pernilla? I'm like, this is her Instagram. Please all follow and then leave.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, because like literally I had a friend ask me, how do you do it? Like when you wake up, so I started to explain like what you said, like keeping that promise to yourself. And she's like, yeah, but I don't understand. I'm like, please just watch all her reels and you will get it. Like just when you see that higher self of yours in front of like that lower self, you cannot not get it. And then she watched one video and she was like, oh damn, I get it. I'm like, this is the kind of person. Thank God you did listen to these thoughts years ago. And hopefully like Miguel, Nis, and everyone in this group, we can have these aha moments like in a couple of years. We do say it's a lot, like there is a lot of content out there, but there is not enough actually for everyone like to relate to everything, because I'm like, I would relate more to Bell Robbins than to Tony, and it's okay. Like they're both amazing and great, but you just need a certain voice, and I'm sure like each one of us can be that certain voice. So Miguel, I'm following you on LinkedIn. I'm waiting for the nerdy stuff because I love it. I'm in the tech industry, and I'll be watching you. So yeah, you better post. I'll be liking and sharing, so my entire Google network can see your job.
Thank you. You're so kind. Thank you.
I'd love to, really, honestly. So yeah, I love that I started talking about all the positive stuff, because actually I had one of the worst weeks of my entire life. I shared it with the WhatsApp group because I didn't want to drag the energy down. Like I was back in Germany and I had like so many racist encounters, and I was just so thankful to be back in Dublin that I was like, I'm not gonna waste any energy on whatever happened and just focus and move back. And like I landed super late yesterday night and I was preparing this brunch for all my friends, so I already sent my husband to grocery shopping in a storm. I woke up super early to start preparing. And then around 9 a.m., I get all these messages that everyone is canceling on me at last minute. And I was like, my first thing was, oh my God, what is this? And I'm like, first thing, don't take anything personal. Second thing, this is the best plan because this is the only day I have with my husband. So I get to spend quality time with him. We ended up drawing on mandalas the entire day, having the best brunch, having the best time. Afternoon, my closest friends were like, we are back, because those are the two that I care the most about. And they really couldn't make it. So they ended up coming for the cake part, and it ended up being the best birthday ever, where just I'm like 33 is already filtering people out that I don't need and just planning itself. So I was like, wow, this day was magic.
You just showed us all that everything can go wrong, but with a right mindset, you freaking turned that around and had the best birthday ever. But most people would have let that completely destroy their birthday, and you didn't make that happen.
You all as my friends, so I'm gonna share this beautiful flowers that I received, and like all of these gorgeous things. And my cake was like this, I'm gonna post about it, like this podcast mic that my husband had made, and he said like tuning into 33 and like on air. So I was like, I'm not gonna ruin anyone or anything ruin my day. Like if you have a cheerleader like this in your life, and like just in general, so blessed. And like right now, Pernilla, you changed my life. Like I could be crying just thinking of it, because when I joined your challenge, I went through the worst thing, and I thought I just want to gain control over my health. And your journaling, like whenever I thought at first, what is it for? Like whenever I skip it a day, I know how powerful it is, because I'm like, oh my God, like the moment I start my day with your journaling, it's just, I'm a better human, I'm a better partner, I'm a better friend, I'm better at work. Like you are changing lives. So if I'm ever just having 10% of your influence on 66 subscribers, that's enough. So please keep doing that. You really are. Yeah.
You're making me cry. Thank you.
No, I don't want to cry because I'm like, I already cried.
Whenever you're making me cry.
It's, honestly, like it's insane. I think Anna said it when her husband pulled her out of the shower, like go join that call because you're a better human because of it. And yeah, that's what you are to all of us. Honestly, you make us kick out friends on our birthdays to listen to you. So that's your power. But seriously, I'm gonna stop now. I know we are unapologetical, but please.
Thank you so much for everything. Thank you so much. And it's really what, like, it's you're putting in this, you're changing your life, you're putting in the work. It's so incredible. It's also just everything you share in the group. It's always makes you reflect in a new way. I know everyone can relate when I say that, when we read your posts, because they're beautiful. And I just want to say one thing to what you were saying about there's so much content out there. Who am I? Like who would want to listen to me? There's so much other stuff. I would want someone who is hypersensitive, because I have that in myself as well. And I feel you've talked a lot about thinking you're weak and not strong enough. I think
that your vulnerability, your way of looking at the world and reflecting is one of the most like strongest way to be strong in this world. It's so easy to put up a mask and be like, I'm confident, I got my life together, I am it. The other type of strong that you showcase, it's completely different level of strength in my eyes.
I've been in the challenge for a month now, and I've been kind of soaking in all the things that you guys are saying, and now I thought it's time for me to give something back as well. So here I am, and I think like other people have said, you really are having, you and everybody in this room are really having a big positive impact on the rest of us. So thank you sincerely from the heart to you and the rest of the people in this room. It's been great to be part of this.
There's a lot of fitness instructors like, do what I tell you to do this. Don't deviate from my plan. And I'm like, dude, I don't care. Like, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm going to integrate different things in and make it work. And so I was like, was this light energy that I was like, I can work with this. And so
Thank you.
Like, it's very rare. Like, I don't see that anywhere else.
Yeah.
Especially in the fitness industry.
Pernilla, your energy is all about supporting discipline and empowering us to find that in our own lives. But I think what's encouraging about your challenge compared to like, oh my gosh, all the ones I would have purchased over the years where I felt I was failing every time I didn't adhere to this set plan, your approach has always been like accepting whoever comes in as they are, as we are, and knowing that there's progress in the details. Like and then you're letting us build on that as opposed to you either did it or didn't. Like that's the black and white thinking that really gets people, I think, turned off by health and fitness challenges and give up on themselves. But yeah, I think that's a big thing you're doing.
I think it's the positivity that you bring to, like a little bit what Yasmin was saying, that there's a different positivity to doing this challenge. And then when I actually joined the challenge, I thought, okay, let's give this a go. And then I saw that it's not just a fitness challenge, that just the nutrition, which again you can get other places as well, but all of this holistic approach to the person as a person, the mental health, the journaling. So I haven't seen anywhere else this approach, and that's why I think it works, because it's not, I'm not gonna be a better human just because I've done 3 workouts this week. You know what I mean? It's just, how does that fitness goal fits into my overall life? So I think that's where your unique difference is.
Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast episode. I hope you walk away with a little bit more courage to follow those voices in your head that are telling you to go for this goal, this dream of yours that you have. And if you want a community that's going to support you every single week, we make these commitments to each other. And there's something about having a community that helps you and supports you and that wants for you to win on this journey. It's just valuable, as well as get all my workouts and my nutritional guide and recipes and journaling challenge. The journaling challenge and meditations for this February challenge is going to be freaking incredible. You're going to love it. So if you want to join, I'll put the links below. I hope you go out there and have a beautiful day. And as always, remember that in order for you to grow, you have to challenge your norm. Bye.